Good evening. Welcome to another Remedy Live.
I am ready.
Chris, welcome back.
I'm ready, man.
I see you're walking on with the mug today.
I am. Yeah, I had it out here last week, and I don't know. It feels more like I can really show it off when I walk on with it. It gets the full presentation.
Yeah. So we've actually we've talked about it a couple times, but I want to make sure we're focusing on our mugs because it's a big deal now. People are asking what mug we're going to do. You went on Instagram and took a survey.
I did do a
poll,
survey.
what people
I did
should do.
really bad at running it, but I did it.
Yeah, it was. I voted for Boba Fett and got a wrong answer.
Yeah, I did it completely wrong. I didn't realize it's like hours later, and I was like, well,
oh, you're stuck now.
This is it. Yeah.
So let's start out. Tell us about your mug today, Chris.
So I got the Boba Fett mug. I believe my mom got it for me.
Okay.
Either my mom or my grandma got it for me, but it's pretty rad. I think it's pretty cool. So it was my mug of choice today.
Nice. So the last couple of weeks I went with Speed the Light mugs.
You did.
Good mugs.
Mm-hmm.
Today is actually not just April Fool's Day, but it's my brother's birthday. It's
really?
The infamous Casey.
Casey.
The one who all the stories are about.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I preach. So it's Casey's birthday. Happy birthday. He's watching today. He actually got me this mug for Christmas.
A
couple Christmases ago. Yep. And this, I don't know if you can see on the camera, it is Lego. So there are Lego studs on the sides and everything.
Cool.
So I went into my Lego stash.
Yeah.
And I love Lego police, like the buildings and the cars and everything.
Do you have the police station?
Oh, multiple police stations. Yeah.
The Lego City police station.
Like if my Lego stuff was a real city, I'm pretty sure 80% of the taxes would go to the police department. Just because that's like how much of the police stuff I have from my days in Lego. So I went into my stashes, got a police car, stuck it on the side.
That's pretty cool.
This is a real mug though.
Really?
So happy birthday to Casey today.
Is the inside of it Lego as well?
No, it's smooth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably
actually, I'm not even sure this is a legit like Lego brand because there's no Lego words all over it.
We can put Legos on it. So
totally. Fine. It's made for Legos.
That's fine.
Oh, wait. Sorry. It's not Legos. It's just Lego. That's the plural.
Oh, it is just Lego. Yeah.
But Chris, it is good to be back with you. I love Wednesday nights and Remedy Live. Of course, we miss our students, but so glad that you guys are watching with us. We've had some fun with this, and I'm excited that we're still going with it, and it's just getting better and better and better. Now, we do want to say, make sure you comment throughout the show, not only with each other. I've noticed you guys have started doing that, whether it's through the remedywichita.online.church, which some of you guys are watching. If you've gone through the website, the evangelwichita.org/students, that's where you're at right now, is the remedywichita.online.church. Yeah. We figured out how to get the stream so it's more live.
It took us there. It took us a bit, but we got there.
But we've also noticed that on phones sometimes it acts funny if you're trying to watch it, but then also look at the comments. So if for whatever reason you're like, oh no, I can't do both, it's okay. You can go to YouTube, search Evangel Wichita, look up the videos on the channel, and you'll see us right there. You can go over there. We're watching the YouTube comments as well.
I got YouTube comments.
He's got YouTube comments. I got the online church comments. Yeah. So you can watch in either place. Totally fine. If your feed messes up, it's okay. Go to either place. But we do want to tell you right now, leave your name in the comments and whatever place you're watching. We're watching both places, but leave your name. And then at the end of the show, just like what we did last week, we'll do one giveaway. Last week, your brother Jackson won, right? He got a $10 Grubhub gift card.
For Chipotle, I'm sure. But
I was about to ask if he's used it yet, or if you've got to partake in it.
He hasn't shared with me yet, so I'm going to assume that he hasn't used it.
Okay.
And he's just waiting for me.
Just waiting.
He's just waiting for me.
Just waiting.
Yeah.
All right. So make sure you enter in at the end of the show. So between now and the end of the show, put your name in one of the comments, and we'll go through and make sure you're in. For middle school and high school students, you can't be like Chris Gill and enter your names. I mean, or Pastor Mark. He likes to watch too. You cannot win a gift card. Can't do it. Middle school and high school students, whether you normally come on Wednesday nights or not, if you're watching, you're a middle school or high school student, comment your name and we will get that in.
I see Jenna's here.
What?
The whole Winter fam.
Hey, love the Winter family. Love Jenna,
Henry's
Avery.
Here. Oh my God, Alyssa.
Great.
What's up?
Great group.
What's up, everybody?
Great group. Hey, quick announcement. So Fine Arts is coming up. We've talked about it's going to a digital Fine Arts where you'll be sending in a video. So fine arts registration is actually due this Friday.
Ooh, that's
So-
quick.
So I want to be, clear with the instructions for our youth group. You can find the registration form. Either you picked it up here when we were all still meeting in person, or you can go to the agkansas.com, find the youth ministry page,
Mhm.
the KYM page, and you can find the registration form there underneath fine arts. Go ahead and print that off or fill it out, all that stuff. And then you can send it directly to the district office. You can find their information on the website. Go ahead and send it directly there, pay them directly, all that. Now, I do ask though, if you're doing that, shoot me a message, text me, whatever. Let me know that, first of all, you're doing it and what you're doing. Because while you're sending the registration there, all the entries still has to go through the youth pastor.
Yeah.
So I'll be the one that, gathers all the links, and I'll get in touch with you to make sure we're doing it the right way. So send your stuff in. We're excited. I already know of a few students that are doing it.
Oh, really?
Already know.
Awesome.
So pretty excited. But you can send that stuff in this Friday and then let me know that you're doing it and what you're doing, and we'll stay in touch, and I'll make sure that we do it the right way, that we follow the rules. It's going to be great. I'm excited. Fine
I'm
arts
pretty
is great.
excited, Yeah.
So do it. I mean, the price went down from $50 to $35
For two
So,
events still?
for 2 events, and then
All
it
right.
costs money extra after
Yeah,
that.
like
But
normal. But
this is the cheapest fine arts will ever be.
Yeah, it
So
is.
this is the year to do it. And Nationals next year, I believe, is back in Orlando. I believe.
Good golf in that side.
Yeah. So get your practice in now.
Yeah.
I think Nationals in Columbus or something this year, which is great. That's
Mhm.
fine. But
It's no Orlando.
get ready for Orlando next year. We're going to do this. All right. So there's that. And then the second announcement, as always, follow us on Instagram. You can find announcements, our devotionals that we're doing every other day. Did you see Rebecca did one this past
I did
week?
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was late today.
Hey, that's okay.
But it's fine.
Uh,
Actually, you know what? There's one due today, isn't there?
Technically, yeah.
So are we doing like a combo thing or?
Oh, or you could just do it tomorrow. That's fine.
Oh yeah, I'll just be late
Yeah.
today. Constantly.
And do it through the Instagram TV.
I did it wrong apparently. Last
You did it live. So if you just record, wow, just record
Teach
as
me.
well, young one. Record as a normal video,
Yeah.
and then when you go in to add it,
Yeah.
just go like you're adding a normal post,
Okay.
and then it'll say, "Hey, this is a really long video. What do you want to do with it?" And then it'll give you an option, IGTV, and then put it there, and it puts it right in the page. Man, we are so hip, Chris.
We're so cool.
We are so cool.
We're so cool.
So Chris is up next, but we have devotionals, and then even you may not have seen this right before the show this evening.
What
I
happened?
gave a behind-the-scenes tour of our studio.
Oh, did
So,
you now?
Yeah, all the way from the door coming in
Uh-huh.
to Caden's setup at the computer and the
Okay.
camera. The items on my desk had a very
Nice.
close look at them.
Nice.
Our perspective with the lights. So go and check that out if you haven't, over on our Instagram page, Remedy Wichita.
yeah, dude,
and all that.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
Yep.
Sure.
Now, Chris, last week we did our top 5 things to watch on Disney Plus while you're stuck at home.
We did. We
And-
did. Which actually, I want to know if you guys watched any of that.
I do know
Comment it in the comments.
Henry
Yeah.
texted me the very next day and was like, "Hey, you and Chris reminded me how great Remember the Titans was, so I watched Remember the Titans
my
again."
Gosh. Did you cry, Henry?
You have to.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
You have
I'm
to
sure
cry.
I'm sure you did.
So, so if you didn't watch last week's show, go back, see the top 5 Disney Plus shows and movies that we suggest while watching while you're stuck at home. But we had such a great response
Mhm.
with our top 5 list
Mhm.
that I wanted to do another top 5. Okay. So
Okay.
I asked you and myself, we put together the top 5 games to play. Now,
Yeah.
we could do a board games another time,
Oh,
but I specifically wanted to do either video games like console, Xbox,
Mhm.
PlayStation, Switch, so console games or computer games. So
Okay.
top 5 games that
Okay.
we recommend we play during, while you're stuck at home. So Chris, go ahead and start out.
All right, so my first game here is one that I started playing last year with a group of friends. It was a lot of fun. Had a blast. It's called Astroneer. And what you're like kind of on this planet, and you can go explore, and you have to like have your air tube with you, or else you'll like suffocate.
Okay.
But the coolest thing about the game, at least when I played through it, is the group of people I played with, we didn't look up anything about the game before we went in there. And so when we discovered that there's other planets that you can go to, like mind blown. Like, we were yelling in the microphones.
I was about to say, you're the type that you'll be yelling like in your house by yourself.
Yeah. Like he's like shooting off in the space, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, I don't know, go.
I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, game's fun. Astroneer, heavily recommended. Next one, Cities Skylines. Oh, thank you. This is a city simulation game. So if you've ever had dreams of being a civil engineer, this is it.
Or you remember the old days of SimCity?
Or SimCity, yeah. So you like lay out the streets and the neighborhoods, and you can go down and like build trains, put the airport in, and all this fun stuff. It's a lot of fun. I've killed so many hours playing this game. It's a blast.
I'll talk more about it here in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It had to make my
All right.
list.
Well, another game that's along the same lines as City Skyline is Civilizations 5.
Okay.
Now, yes, Civilization 6 is out. I haven't played it, so I can't vouch for that game. But 5 is really fun. So you run like an empire. So you're like a ruler, like an ancient history ruler. So like George Washington's in it. I usually either play Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar or
Biblical
Persia.
there. Yeah. Oh, hey, super.
Or Persia with King Cyrus. And so you start off like very basic. So you build your first city. Then you grow and grow and grow. And there's different ways to win, either through science by going to space, or economically by having the strongest economy, or it's a fun game. It's especially with friends, because you can like go against them and they're like other civilizations and you try to battle against them. It's a blast. I love it.
Okay, I will say this. I know you're a big Civ 5 fan.
I am.
And so many people I've talked to are as well. So on like a Steam summer sale last year or something, I went and I bought Civ 5.
Oh, really?
And a bunch of like expansion packs, because it was this massive deal, great price.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, I played the tutorial and that's it. Like,
oh my gosh.
I know. You keep telling me how great it is.
And you can get like 10 people in there.
There's no better time to start it than right now. So
no,
I just need to go, because everyone talks about how great it is. And maybe I'm just expecting it to be like Age of Empires, back in the day.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
But it's like still a totally different game. So I'm trying to understand. I just need to give it the time.
Yeah.
I'm usually a patient guy, but for some reason I haven't been.
Game.
So
I've been in multiple like large matches with all my friends.
I will do it for you.
It's a lot
Chris.
of fun.
I will do it for you.
Thank you. Number 4, literally any Lego game, because all those games are a blast.
Yeah.
They're so just like chill, and I'll just sit down on my couch, pull out a controller, and just play through like Lego Star Wars or Lego Batman.
Lego Star Wars was the best.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Or like even the Lego movie games. They're phenomenal. There's pretty much just a bunch of small puzzles, and you gotta like try to figure them out. And they're not difficult at all. They're super fun.
Yeah.
They're funny. Like there's funny things that happen in them, even in like what is normally serious moments in the movies.
And then if you get bored, you just go around and smash things.
You go around and break Lego stuff. It's good.
Yeah.
I love it. Have you played any of them?
Oh yeah. So Rebecca and I have played Lego Marvel Superheroes.
Okay.
And then the Lego Harry Potter games. We've gone through some of that as well, and then we got distracted. So we need to get back to it sometime.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I recommend them. Last game is one that's best played in VR. You don't have to be in VR. You can do it with like a laptop or even a phone, because I have it on my phone. But it's called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. It's a very long name.
Okay.
So it's a bomb defusal game. And so you have one person who has this bomb in front of them, and there's wires and there's different little puzzles on it. And they have to try to describe what they're seeing to the other people in the room. And then those people will relay back to them on how to solve the puzzle and in turn just defuse the bomb. It's a blast, especially fun in VR, because you really get immersed in it, and you can like pick up the bomb and like move it around and try to do stuff. And then like as the clock gets lower and lower, it starts like getting louder and louder. It's a whole lot of fun. Heavily recommended for a lot of people.
You're a big like community game fan.
I am. I'm very, very bad at playing single player games.
Really?
I rarely finish single player games.
I am the opposite of you. Like, I consider myself old school with the games.
Oh, really?
You didn't get to go online with the Sega Genesis, my friend.
Oh,
like,
I remember.
You just sat there.
Yeah.
You couldn't even save the game. If you didn't beat Sonic in one sitting, you're done.
My mom and I would play this Goof Troop game on the Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo.
And we didn't know what things were called. So it was like the kicky thingy was one of the things. I still have no idea what it's called, and I highly doubt my mom knows what it's called. But it was a blast.
Yeah.
Love the game.
Oh, I forgot to mention, before I do my list, comment what games you guys are playing.
Yeah.
Video
for sure.
games, computer games. I know we've already seen a few. I saw Animal Crossing pop up. That is the new.
I've heard a lot
popular
about the game.
So I played it on the GameCube back in the day.
What is it about?
So good.
What do you do?
So you're this little figure.
Yeah.
It's going to sound so lame when I describe it. I'm sure somebody else could describe better. But you're this little character, and then you move into this town,
Okay.
and then you're given a house, but you have to pay off that house. And so to do that, you do little tasks, or you go fishing or stuff to earn money.
Yeah.
And then you pay it off. There's a store. There's other people you can talk to. There's little things. You collect insects and birds and dinosaur bones, and you take them to the museum and like all these little things. Now, I've heard on the Switch, though, it is like so much better.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking, I'm like, with a Switch?
Because
Where I don't have to leave my bed?
yeah, now it's like community playing. So you like that.
I do
to
like
where
that.
in your town you may have apple trees.
Yeah.
But in Caden's town you may have like cherry trees. So you can go over to his
Oh.
town and you can pick some cherries, bring him some apples, and then
Yeah.
he can plant the apples. You can plant the cherries in your town. So now
But this game's only on Nintendo, though, right?
it is totally a Nintendo style.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So comment what games you guys are playing.
Jackson, do you have that game? Because I know you have a Switch.
It is so tempting to get a Switch because of this game. Because Rebecca was a huge Animal
Do
Crossing
I-
fan.
Okay.
So, all right, let me hit my list and then we'll see what the people are saying.
Okay.
Okay, number one, Chris mentioned it before, City Skylines. My friend, this is
It's so fun.
one of the best games I've ever played.
Probably one of the nerdiest games I've played.
Totally one of the nerdiest games.
Yeah.
Because I love, and you'll notice a theme through a lot of this. I love games where you build things, you control things, and it's all about efficiency, what
Yeah.
runs best. I'm such a nerd when it comes to this. So City Skylines.
I never knew I'd be so passionate about
Oh.
sewage.
Totally. Like what I love about City Skylines is you can play it as simple as you want. If you just want to plop down some fire stations and
Mhm.
cities and then, watch it go and just build things, you can do that.
Yeah.
But if you want to get to the nitty gritty, how much tax income is coming in.
Yeah, you're way
Yeah.
more hardcore in the game than I am.
Oh, totally. How much money needs to be allocated to over here, watching traffic flow,
Mhm.
and if one area is getting boggled up with traffic, fixing it and making highways and
Yeah.
byways and all that stuff. I'm a big City Skylines fan.
I get really
And-
obsessed with tunnels.
Oh, tunnels great.
Several
And then
tunnels
I will
everywhere.
say though, the online community, the workshop community is
Yeah.
outstanding for City Skylines.
Oh, okay.
So you can play it vanilla,
Mhm.
which is just without any mods or anything.
Yeah.
Or if you go online, you can find incredible mods. And I sound like such a nerd right now. But City
It's a
Skylines,
lot of fun.
like you said, many, many hours have gone into it.
Yeah.
Second thing on my list, probably the nerdiest thing on my list, is this game called Sim Airport. This is actually the
I've
game.
heard of this game.
This is the game I'm currently playing right now.
Okay.
I don't spend as much time on this as I do City Skylines, but as you can guess, you build an airport and you run it.
I really like airports.
Yeah, exactly. And you schedule your flights, you work with the companies and negotiate
really?
deals, and yeah.
Do you actually design the airport layout?
Yeah, but it's like a 2D image, so it's everything's
top-down?
very much top down
That's fine.
in squares, so you can't go super detailed, but it is fun.
How much is this game?
Probably like $20-$30 if that. I got it way in beta.
Is it on Steam?
Steam.
Okay.
It's always one of those that you can find on sale.
Okay.
That's how I got it. Number 3, and this huge thanks to Caden Cawthon on this one, Spider-Man on PlayStation 4.
Oh, okay.
I heard so many people talking about this game. So many people, all my fellow PlayStation 4 people. Because
Not me.
I know a lot of you guys are Xbox people, and I heard
am.
everyone was like, Xbox is the best. Xbox is the best. Then this game came out, and people converted.
I've heard good things about this
They
game.
converted to PlayStation for this game.
I've heard good
I
things about
just finished it about a month ago. It is a great, great game. So, Spider-Man on PlayStation 4. Number 4, back to my nerdy ways, Planet Coaster. If you ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon
Oh,
back in the day,
I still have Roller Coaster Tycoon 2
Roller Coaster
with-
Tycoon, so good.
with the triple thrill pack. So
Yeah.
it has all of the DLCs.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
Roller Coaster Tycoon was, that and Age of Empires were my favorite computer games growing up.
Okay.
And The Sims, I'll throw that
Did
in
you ever
as
play
well.
Red Alert?
No, I didn't.
Neither did I, but I've heard good things
Oh,
about
okay, okay. But Planet Coaster is to me, it's the new era of Roller Coaster Tycoon. Roller Coaster Tycoon, those people tried to make a more modern version and they failed.
Oh, okay.
It just flopped because Planet Coaster came out and you can do every little thing you want. Now, I will say it's just like City Skylines. You can do, as broad as you want. You can take a store and plop it. You can take a ride and plop it and just let it play. Or you can have rides, let rides go crazy and crash, just like Roller Coaster Tycoon. You can let that happen. Yeah. Or you could be as detailed as you want. And you can put in every single wall, every single support, like every little thing.
I started placing trees in City Skylines, and I was like, this isn't me.
Don't play that.
I can't do this.
But Planet Coaster, if you love Roller Coaster Tycoon, whether you love just running the park or you want to get super detailed, Planet Coaster is where it's at. Okay. So big fan of that. And of course, they have DLCs that are great as well. Then my last one, always a go-to, and especially because there are no sports on TV, I may start this one up again, Madden. Pull out the Madden on the PlayStation. Always a great choice. I love the franchise mode, controlling things, going through a season.
I think since 2008.
So all about the Madden. Chris, let's take a look at what people are saying. Go ahead. What do you see over there?
Henry said Scrabble.
we'll talk about board games later.
Come on, Henry. Yeah. Jackson, Minecraft.
Oh, hey.
Timeless classic. At least once a week a year, I get super into this game, and I'll just turn it. I'll play it and watch terrible action movies at the same time.
Oh wow!
And that's what I do for a week.
I see Sims. I see that on here. Rebecca, she said, and I mentioned she loves building houses on The Sims. Like I love playing The Sims, like having them live. Rebecca just loves building the houses. So we make a great team. She builds it. I play it. It's been a while. Hey, I will say, Chase and Sarah caught the hidden Easter egg today.
They did. I saw that. I didn't want to say anything, but they did catch it.
They noticed. On Chris's shoe, it does say Andy.
It does.
That's
say
right.
Andy.
Toy Story shout out. Well done, Chase and Sarah.
Everyone was making comments about the bottom of my orange shoe last week, and so I was like, I'll give him a little something.
Okay, Madison said Pearl's Peril. I've never heard of this. Ooh, Crunchy Weave says, "Where's my water for the Kindle Fire?" Classic.
Terraria. Wow, I haven't heard that game in a while. If it is what I remember it is. Is it like the dinosaur one? I think.
I don't know.
It's kind of in a jungle-esque kind of thing. I think.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Any other ones you see?
Some classics in here: Fortnite, Overwatch, and.
Oh, by the way, Caden has peaches on his trees in Animal Crossing. If anybody needs peaches, head on over to Caden's Island, Caden's Town, whatever it is. Okay. Get yourself some peaches. But, don't just go over and take peaches. You got to bring him something too.
Okay, Henry redeemed himself. Mario Kart.
Hey classic. I'll pull that out. Mario Kart on the Wii. Love it.
It's shockingly good.
Yeah.
I occasionally get the urge to play it on the Super Nintendo, which is the one I grew up playing. And I don't want to go through the effort. Yeah. So.
You know what? And also on the Wii, every once in a while, I'll go down, pull out some Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort, do some Frisbee golfing or some real golfing.
That's a classic.
Yeah, classic.
That is
love
real classic.
All right, Chris, you got something you brought to my attention this week that you wanted to address on our show.
I did. And I've had this conversation with many of people, and it gets very passionate. Mostly on the other side, because I know I'm right. So why am I going to get passionate about it? So in high school, I worked at a bakery for about 3.5 years. And when I was there, I learned the secret to red velvet cake.
Red velvet cake. Okay. The cake that's red.
Yeah, it's red velvet.
Yeah.
People love it. They lose their minds over it.
They think it's the greatest thing ever.
They think it's the best thing, practically the second cup.
Especially red velvet cupcakes. Those are super popular.
Yeah, people love red velvet cake. Well, I learned the secret to red velvet cake.
Okay.
And that is red velvet cake is just chocolate cake with food coloring in it.
So you're telling me that there is no difference between chocolate cake and red velvet cake?
Taste-wise, no.
Now, I will say, icing. Usually on red velvet, it has the cream cheese frosting or icing, and then chocolate just has chocolate. That's the difference. Yeah. But aside from the color.
The cake part itself,
You say it's the exact same.
It's the exact same.
All right, Chris. Well, I'm asking you to prove
Okay.
that you know
Yeah.
if it is either chocolate cake or red velvet cake. We have samples of both.
Oh, we do.
We're going to bring those out.
Let me grab
Go ahead and bring those out. Chris has a blindfold as well. So he's going to pull the table out. I am going to switch the plates around on you.
All right. Well,
And we'll see if you can tell the difference between chocolate cake and red velvet.
I'm telling you, they're exactly the same. So.
Okay. Now, just to be clear, he did scrape frosting off.
I tried my
red
best.
velvet. He tried his best. So don't let any taste of frostings, kind of give it away for you or anything. Okay. So here's the two options. We have the chocolate cake and the red velvet cake. Okay. So.
Are you ready?
Almost.
Oh, okay. I don't know where the table's at. There we go.
Okay. You have a plate in front of you.
Okay. So I can eat this one?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to break a little piece of it off here. Can I try the other one?
Sure. It is coming in. Here we go. Here is the second cake.
I think this one's red velvet.
Why?
It tastes kind of like white cake.
But you were so confident that they were the same thing.
I definitely was. I can feel icing on this one, so I'm kind of trying to find one piece that doesn't have icing. Oh, yeah. I'm going with this one is chocolate. Well,
You were so confident that you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And now you're coming out here.
this one's chocolate and this one's red velvet.
Why?
This one is kind of more dense
Okay.
and there's a little bit more moisture in there, whereas this one is lighter and has more dryness to it.
But I thought you said that they are the exact same, just with food coloring.
Yeah.
But you can tell a difference in dryness and moistness.
If I had to choose, that's what I would say.
But do they taste similar?
Well, it's hard to tell because this one's moist, but for the most part, yeah, they both really don't have too much flavor to them. So
Okay, so you said on your left is chocolate.
I'll say this one's chocolate and this one over here is red velvet.
Okay, go ahead and unblindfold yourself. You were
I
right.
got
You
it.
guessed right.
I got it. Yeah. Which makes you feel a little sad.
Yeah. So you were able to tell a difference, pretty firm difference between the two.
I was, yeah. I'm just getting tons of stuff. I'm
Hey.
gonna use this.
I would have tried them too, but the whole social distancing, all that stuff.
Yeah, I
just
probably shouldn't share food.
probably not the best idea to share
Yeah.
cake.
Yeah.
But all right, so
I feel sad now.
I want to applaud you for being able to tell the difference, but you totally disproved your point at the beginning of the segment.
I did. And I feel like this needs revisited so I can be right.
Or you can have more cake.
Or maybe, yeah.
Okay, how about this? Whenever we get back all together,
Okay.
we do this for real in person
Mhm.
with students to see. We'll do a test. I want to know if these students can tell the difference between chocolate cake
There we go.
and red
We'll
velvet.
do that.
There we go.
There we go. We'll do that.
But Chris, you just got to eat cake.
I did.
Not only did you get to have your cake, you got to eat it too. I don't understand that phrase.
Isn't it? No, I'm thinking of a different. I'm thinking of let them eat cake. That's from France, I think.
I don't know. All right, so go ahead, clear that out. As Chris is getting ready to share his message tonight, just want to remind you, make sure you comment your name in either the YouTube or the remedywichita.online.church viewing platform. And middle school, high school students, make sure you get your names in, because while Chris is speaking, we'll be getting all those names in the randomizer. So come on, Chris, get your Boba Fett all ready to go.
So hello, Remedy family. I mean, I feel like I say the same thing whenever I do talk, and it's been about 5 years since I've talked in here, but it has not been that long this time, shockingly. And just with these past couple weeks, I don't know about you, but I feel displaced. With all these changes in just this past month, and I'm sure your life as well has just been like there's a wrench been thrown in it. Like not going to school, barely leaving the house. I mean, I spent all last weekend at home. I didn't even walk outside on Sunday, which for a natural extrovert like me is just insane. Like, what do I do? I felt very displaced. And even our everyday mentality towards things has changed. I don't know if I've ever washed my hands so much in my entire life. It's crazy. I go get groceries and I feel weird even opening my mouth, which sounds very strange. And you guys know how I operate. Usually I like to find parallels. I like to try to look at something, take the situation that I'm in, and try to find a parallel that I can draw a relation to, so that way I can figure out and try to dissect what is going on and what it is that I can do. Because I feel displaced. And I was able to find such a parallel in Daniel. The book of Daniel starts with Daniel living in Jerusalem. And while he's living there, it gets besieged by the Babylonian Empire. The Babylonian Empire is led by Nebuchadnezzar II, which during our game session was kind of funny. I mentioned how I like to play this character in Civilizations 5. And once they were besieged, the Babylonians took a handful of Israel and brought them back to the Babylonian capital of Babylon. While they were there, they were placed into the schooling, so that by the time they came out of the schooling, they were essentially Babylonian citizens. Daniel was displaced. He was no longer in Jerusalem, he was in Babylon. He was no longer eating his normal food. He was now eating food dedicated to the king of Babylon. He was no longer doing his normal daily routine. He was going to the schooling to become a Babylonian citizen. He was displaced. And this gets us to our section of scripture today. And with it being the Old Testament, there's going to be definitely some words and names mispronounced by yours truly here, but we'll get through it. And our scripture today is Daniel 1:1-7. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand. With some of the vessels of the house of God, he brought them to the land of Shinar, to the house of his God, and placed the vessels in the treasury of his God. And then the king commanded Ashpenaz, the chief eunuch, to bring some of the people of Israel, both of the royal family and of nobility, youths without blemish, of good appearance and skillful in all wisdom, endowed with knowledge, understanding, learning, and competent to stand in a king's palace, and to teach them the literature and language of the Chaldeans. The king assigned them to a daily portion of the food that the king ate, and of the wine that he drank. They were to be educated for 3 years. At the end of that time, they were to stand before the king. Among these were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah of the tribe of Judah. And the chief of the eunuchs gave them names. Daniel he called Belshazzar. Hananiah he called Shadrach. Mishael he called Meshach. And Azariah he called Abednego. Now those names should sound familiar to you, and we will be getting to that pivotal story here during our time. So as we read there, Daniel was displaced. He was no longer in Jerusalem. He was in Babylon. And looking through this and kind of just thinking over the book of Daniel, 3 things really stood out to me as a parallel to what relates to my life today. And I hope that it relates to yours as well. They are what God has done, what God is doing, and what God is going to do. So what God has done, what God is doing, and what God is going to do. Now, growing up, the people at the time, especially the Jews, would have memorized the first couple books of what we now consider as the Old Testament. Daniel would know about Moses and the parting of the sea. He would know about Moses, and the parting of the sea. He would know about these things. They were not normal, every day-to-day things. They were displaced. Daniel would know about how these people were led out of Egypt because they were displaced in Egypt when they should have been in Israel. Daniel, seeing how Israel was displaced in Egypt, would give him hope for the time in which he was in. And that can give us hope for the time that we are in right now. If you were here for the My Story series, you'll know some things that happened in my past with my influences in high school that I was surrounded in and how God moved in that. You would know about how I dropped out of college and yet God still moved. So what can you look at in your past? What example of God moving can you look at in your life? Daniel had great examples in the Old Testament, as with Israel being displaced in Egypt and then going back to the promised land. And we can look at these same examples as well. But what can you look at in your past that can go along with these examples? Well, that is what God has done. Well, let's look at what God is doing. In the book of Daniel, we know that he was taken to Babylon to become a Babylonian citizen. He was displaced in Babylon. The king of Babylon was Nebuchadnezzar II. Now, Nebuchadnezzar would, throughout this book, have these dreams. And when he would have these dreams, he would turn to Daniel to interpret them. And this happens multiple times throughout this book. And if you read through Daniel, which I heavily recommend everybody do, you will see that each time Daniel interprets a dream for Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar acknowledges Daniel's God, which we know is our God today. But then Nebuchadnezzar will then turn around and worship other gods, such as the Babylonian god of Marduk. And this shows us that God is still working and that he loves us. God will not leave us. He is still working his plan in our lives, no matter what the situation is. It'd be very easy for God to reveal a dream to Nebuchadnezzar and then decide not, and then Nebuchadnezzar to turn around and not acknowledge him again. And it'd be very easy for God to say, I am not going to interpret those dreams for this man anymore. As you guys know, I'm a pretty avid golfer. It's pretty sad I didn't get to play last weekend. And the one who taught me how to play golf and really got me hooked on the sport is my grandfather. And boy, bless him. He would take 10-year-old me out to the course or the driving range, and I'd be hitting the ball left and right. It'd be going everywhere. I would lift my head up and completely miss the ball, completely whiff it, and then get so frustrated with myself, start concentrating that I'm not going to go over the ball, I'm not going to miss it, and then I would take a huge chunk out of the ground. I'd go out there and I'd complain, say that I was tired, and yet he would still take me out golfing. Why do that? Why take this kid out who was absolutely terrible and would just complain the whole time? It'd been very easy for him to just leave me at home and he can go golf with the normal group of guys that he would golf with. Why take this kid golfing if he's going to be like that? Well, the why is love. It's love. because my grandfather loved me and wanted to spend time with me. Just like God loved Nebuchadnezzar. That's the only answer of why he would keep helping him and interpreting his dreams, why he would leave the door wide open. No other person in the entire world would leave that door open for Nebuchadnezzar after what Nebuchadnezzar kept doing to God. And it's love. That's what God is doing. He's loving us. He loves us. He has a plan for our lives. Well, what is God going to do? What is he going to do? Daniel didn't know the plans that God had for Israel. He didn't know how large and huge they were. When Daniel was taken to Babylon, I don't think he had in mind what was going to happen what was in that city. In Daniel 3, we find the story of the fiery furnace. And I can tell you what, Daniel was not planning for the fiery furnace. Nobody plans for that. When Daniel went to Babylon, a fiery furnace was not on his list of expectations of what was going to happen in the city of Babylon. Yet we read that when he and 3 others went into the fiery furnace, they lived. And not just that, there was another person in there with them. Daniel did not expect the fiery furnace, but that is exactly where God showed up. God is doing great things. Are you expecting these great things? Are you expecting to stand next to God in the fiery furnace? I know for a long time I was not. About a year ago, I was getting ready for bed and I had everything ready. You know, I had I just finished my Devo. I had everything laid out and I lay down in bed, closed my eyes and just trying to fall asleep. And at that moment, I heard God. I heard a voice in my right ear say, wait. Just wait. Now, when I go to bed, I have a certain list of expectations. I expect my bag to be ready to go for the next day. I expect my shoes, socks, and belt to be at the foot of my bed, ready to go. I expect my clothes to be to the top right. As you can tell, I'm definitely prepared when I go to bed. I expect everything ready when I go to bed. Those are my list of expectations. And when I went to bed that night, on that list of expectations was not an encounter with God, even though I had just finished my devotional and prayed. So when that did happen, I was taken off guard. I was surprised. And now I have that expectation for an encounter with God, not just when I go to bed, but throughout the entire day. I am expecting him because I know he is going to do great things. So I want you guys to just think back over these 3 points here. What has God done? What has God done in your life? What is he currently doing? What is God currently doing today? And I want you to expect what God is going to do. So with that, let's pray. God, thank you. I thank you for today and all the things that you have given us. Lord, I thank you for this opportunity that even though there are orders, Lord, to shut down and to stay home, that we still get to come here and bring the gospel to people. And God, I pray for just all of our hearts that you would make an impact, that you would tremble our very bottommost beliefs, God, that we would all turn towards you. I pray for our upcoming weeks, Lord, that in upcoming days that you would lead us and guide us, God, and prepare us for what it is that you have laid out for us. I thank you, Lord, truly for everything you have done. And I'm excited and thanking you for everything you are going to do. Thank you so much, Lord. Amen.
Awesome. Well done.
Hello, hello.
Uh-huh.
I steal my mug back.
That's okay. So Amanda's calling you out with the red velvet recipe.
Oh, okay.
She says that she looked it up
Yeah.
and that red velvet cake has buttermilk and vinegar in it. And that's what makes it different. So we'll have to do a legit taste test here.
Interesting.
I know.
So is Amanda saying that if I brought in red velvet chocolate cake, she could tell the difference?
Well, you obviously did, so.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see.
We will see.
All right. Hey, just want to remind you guys, before we're done, before we pick the name, every Sunday evening, 6 o'clock, we have our online game night. I can't believe we were talking about games and didn't mention our online game night.
Oh my gosh,
we've been doing.
Right.
We've done it the past 2 Sundays, had a blast with it.
We need a Civ
So,
game night.
huh?
Civilization.
I am so in.
Oh my gosh, Taya's
Join
here.
us. Yeah. We got this is the largest amount of students we've had get their names in.
Really?
Yeah.
What's up, Taya?
I know. It's gonna be great. What up, Tay? So online game night, 7 p.m. Wow. 6 p.m. Sunday evenings.
Yeah,
I was
Sunday.
going with the sound and then
Yeah,
went the
yeah,
opposite
that's fair,
direction.
that's fair.
So Sunday evening, 6 p.m. We do it over Zoom. We play, Quiplash or other games. This last week we did Jimmy Fallon's Box of Lies. That was fun.
I just got that game. Quiplash.
Yeah.
I think
It's
I
great.
did. I
Ah.
don't know. It was a huge bundle. It was like 45 games in it.
Yeah. So we have so much fun. We even broke off into our life groups and just hung out for a little bit, talked about life, and yeah.
It was fun.
it's good. So 6 o'clock Sunday evenings, join us on Zoom. Now, even I know we tell people, hey, we recommend getting on your computer. That way you can use your phone to interact, watch it on the screen, whatever. If you don't have that kind of setup and your only option is to use your phone,
Just join in Zoom.
do it.
And hang out.
Use your phone.
Yeah, just hang out.
Yeah, you don't have to play the game.
'Cause
Just
not all of
hang
us
out with
not
us.
all of us are playing the game.
Yeah, only 8 people can play Quiplash at one time. And so we're just hanging out, cracking jokes the whole time, and the game's what's going on in the background. So,
Yeah.
so join us 6 o'clock Sunday evenings.
Especially when the backgrounds start coming in.
We have fun.
Yeah,
we have
it's
fun. So let's see who's going to win this week's gift card. I like the Grubhub idea. That's probably the best option.
I think Taya's gonna win.
We'll see.
Calling her right now. Taya, you're winning.
All right, let's throw out the names. Let it roll for a while. Let it,
Give
just
it
get,
some momentum.
I know we're stirring the pot right now, getting it all sifted. All right, who do we got? Aubrey Marcello. We'll get in touch with you and we'll get you your gift card this week. So
What is it? Grubhub again?
yeah, unless you have another suggestion.
Oh no, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I missed it.
I'll talk with her, get in touch with her, see what. Yeah, but $10 gift card, we'll get that out. So, man, it's been a great evening. Can't believe it's almost done already. These Wednesday nights go so quick.
They go very fast.
Yeah,
Very fast.
very fast. So I've noticed we have a large group on the online church platform. We have a large group on the YouTube platform.
Yeah.
Both is great. It's fun seeing all the comments there.
It is
Some people
fun.
are on both. Hey, that's fine.
Dang, people are going both.
That makes our views even higher. So go for it. But I don't know. We love getting together with you guys on Wednesday nights. Love that you guys are commenting, talking with each other, interacting with our top fives and whatever. And so we're going to keep putting out quality stuff for you guys. Hope you had fun. And we will see you Sunday evening
Yeah, Sunday
at 6
evening.
p.m. So see you guys.
Bye.